Lego games are the best, and Star Wars is the best, so when you put those two together, you get some games that are pure fun. The original Lego Star Wars games hold a special place in my heart. They're not the most technically impressive games ever, but it's just so damn fun, and one of the first games that I've ever played, back when I was like 7. I don't even remember how old I was when I played this. Hell, I played this before I even knew what a Star Wars was. That's what got me interested in the movies, which I now love except for these ones. The Star Wars games have always been either hit or miss. You've got great ones like the Lego games, Jedi Fallen Order, Knights of the Old Republic, the original Battlefront games, and the new Battlefront 2, after this happened. And then you have the decent ones like The Force Unleashed. I don't care what anyone says, The Force Unleashed is decent. And when it was canon, it was horseshit because it literally broke the lore. Not as much as these films, but still, Starkiller was 10 times more OP than Rey, which is fucking saying something. And then you have the shit ones. Here's the cover of Star Wars Connect. When I heard there was gonna be a new Lego game with all 9 films, I was hyped as fuck to play episode 1 through 6 again, and indifferent to playing episode 7 through 9. I was expecting it to be the best Lego game ever because of how long it took to develop, the amount of delays, the changes to the engine that were made, the new gameplay, and just the massive scope of everything that the game was going for. I was hyped, and my god, this game actually met and even surpassed my expectations. This feels like a culmination of all the Lego games in the past 2 decades. All of it is on point. The level design, the characters, the comedy, it's all great. After scrolling around in this awesome menu for like 5 minutes, I started off with the prequels, as you should, but man, all the movies are recreated so well. It really does feel like the movies from time to time, especially because of how much of a good job the actors did. The voice acting in this game is great, especially from the prequel side, since it has the cast of the Clone Wars. Everyone sounds the exact same as they do in the show. Even in the originals and sequels, the actors do a great job, except for one. And I don't want to be an asshole to this voice actor, I'm sure they're very talented, but Kylo Ren just sounds weird as fuck in this game.
What could you give me?
But he's the only one. Everyone else sounds like they're ripped straight from the movie. Each movie is separated into 5 levels that you play through, which works really well. Sure, the game does brush by a lot of plot points because they only have 5 levels, but the stuff it does pass up is mostly pretty boring. You usually play the highlights of the movies here. The levels in the original trilogy especially are so much fun with so much creativity. There really wasn't a boring level in the originals. It's not surprising that the best trilogy had the best levels, and that's not to say that the other 2 trilogies weren't fun to play through at all. You still do have some great moments in there. Hell, they even managed to get some enjoyment out of Attack of the Clones, which is a fucking feat considering how boring that movie is.
I don't like sand.
But still, episode 1 and 2 are 90% talking, making it pretty boring for the first and second half of the game, with the levels mainly consisting of you just walking around, which isn't necessarily the developers' faults, since they were working with what happened in the prequels, and that's basically what happened. But the game does make up for it with the final act. Nearly every episode ends with a really fun final boss at the end. The Duel of Fates, Obi-Wan vs Anakin, Yoda vs Palpatine, Count Dooku vs Obi-Wan and Anakin, Luke vs Darth, that goofy-ass gladiator fight in Attack of the Clones with the shittiest death ever. Why the fuck do the Fets have the lamest deaths? This game does a great job at recreating the climaxes of the movie, and actually gives you some pretty fun boss battles, even though they are really simple. Every lightsaber boss has nearly the exact same attack pattern, so you just have to dodge away when a red box appears on the floor, and wail on them when they're open. It would have been nice to have some different mechanics for every boss that incorporates their strengths and weaknesses. You know, having to deal with General Grievous's 4 lightsabers, or Darth Maul's dual sabers, and forcing you to switch characters in an interesting way, but they do go for the simpler approach here, which is fine. Time constraints are a thing, and this is a game for kids after all. Although the Last Jedi fight was pretty accurate to the movie.
Fire everything we have!
Understood. Fire!
More!
And Kylo Ren was pretty unique, because I don't remember this happening in any other boss fights. I do wish that certain bosses were actual fights, like Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in episode 4, reference SC-38 in there, that could have been really cool, or Mace Windu and Palpatine in episode 3. I don't know why, but these fights were relegated to just cutscenes, but BB-8 and fucking Jabba the Hutt get a full boss fight. Even though I will admit that the Jabba boss fight was pretty funny. If this can even count as a boss fight. One thing I absolutely love about the LEGO games is how they turn everything into an absolute parody. The comedy in these games are so goofy and fun to just sit back and watch.
I never thought I'd make it to retirement, but here I am!
It's no different here with them making just as many jokes and even referencing memes, like Luke drinking fucking blue milk as his idol animation.
Anywhere around here a guy can get some blue milk?
Or Padme asking if there was sand in Anakin's dream.
I haven't seen you this worked up before. Was there a lot of sand in your dream?
These are your final steps, Rey. Rise and take them.
I don't like sand.
Or Obi-Wan having the high ground.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
Or Kylo Ren being fucking swole. While it was funny, I do feel like the writers were held back just a bit by Disney and given direct orders not to make that much fun of the sequels. Sure, they do make fun of Finn's constant
Where's Rey?
Ray!
Where's Rey?
Ray, I never told you Ray!
Where's Rey? Rey! Where is she? Where's Rey?
and they make fun of They Fly Now, naming an entire mission after it.
They fly now! They fly now! They fly now!
But some dumb plot points that you would expect them to make a joke about are taken 110% seriously here. Like when Poe said,
"Somehow Palpatine returned."
man, Oscar Isaac deserves a medal for that one. Look at him, the poor bastard looks like he's about to cry. In the game, I was expecting some kind of joke with this scene, but no, Poe just says it.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
No joke, nothing, just straight face.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
And other stuff like Finn and company riding fucking horses on the top of a Star Destroyer when literally all they had to do was turn the ship in any fucking direction and everyone would be dead. Palpatine being able to lift up 1,000 fucking Star Destroyers which weigh this much each effortlessly? No, that's not how the Force works. You have broken the Force. Remember Yoda, one of the most powerful Force users who can go from walking on a cane to doing straight 480 backflips purely from the Force? Remember when he was struggling to hold up some fucking debris? Well, here's Palpatine's fingerless ass lifting up 1,000 Star Destroyers. Anyways, LEGO games. Yeah, my bad, I got a little sidetracked there. The original trilogy is the best missions, fun bosses, best level design, it's the best. The prequels are good with probably the best bosses and some fun moments. And the sequels are garbage, the worst of the three, with the most boring levels and bosses. What, Kylo Ren twice and the fucking red guys, those are your bosses? Is it personal? Yeah, fuck these movies. Okay, I'm done now, for real. But of course, it wouldn't be a LEGO game without a batshit amount of collectibles. And this game, yeah, it's got a lot of them. Collectibles are either something that you love or hate when it comes to video games, and being a fan of these games and having to deal with 300 of these, yeah, I can tolerate them. This game has 3 different types of collectibles: mini kits, data cards, and of course Kyber bricks. These things are absolutely everywhere in the hub world, which are really detailed and fun to explore, with some absolutely beautiful music in the background. But I will admit that the hub worlds can be a bit dead at times, with it basically just being a nice thing to look at and listen to, while a couple of NPCs say some silly things. But as a Star Wars fan, it is still just fun wandering around and being in these worlds, mounting a bunch of random vehicles that are fucking impossible to pilot.
find some proof? Look no further.
While exploring, you will eventually, at some point, stumble upon one of these blue floating things. If you don't, I don't even know. You can make finding them a lot more easier by getting this upgrade, which lets you see them through walls, even though it also might not be a very good thing because you become fucking bombarded by circles and arrows surrounding your screen. There's a wide variety in ways to get these bricks. You've got some that are literally just sitting there, so you just run up to them and pick it up, or some where you have to do a fun little minigame. These minigames are relatively easy, like racing on a vehicle that's impossible to pilot, this basketball one which is more fun than NBA 2K, gardening, or this stupid ass slot machine which starts going way too fast, stop, or using the annoying ass scavenger class. I swear half the Kyber bricks in this game require this shitty class that you don't unlock until fucking Return of the Jedi. Thankfully, once you do get this class, the Kyber bricks are really easy to get. Just craft the required item and bam, there you go, you got it. A lot of the time it's just different variations of ones that you've already seen, like stepping on pressure plates or shooting a bunch of targets or inserting batteries. These ones are reused all the time, which makes sense because creating over 1,000 unique ways to get a collectible is an insane thing to ask for. Although in my opinion, the most fun ones are probably the ones where you have to do a bit of parkour. I'm a big fan of platformers, so having to figure out a way to go up a high building or something like that to get a Kyber brick is really fun. Sure, it is really easy and you don't really get any difficult platforming moments, but it's still a lot of fun. But something that's worth mentioning is that Kyber bricks are actually more than just collectibles, because they can actually upgrade your character. Surprisingly enough, there's actually a whole ass skill stat in this game where you can upgrade each class that a character belongs to. Stuff like making them run faster, building faster, powering up their shots, shooting through objects, seeing enemies through a wall, and skipping these annoying ass hacking mini games. You know a system is good when the developers literally just let you skip it. I'm pretty sure in order to upgrade every class to max, you'll need all 1,166 Kyber bricks. So that's what you're going to be using all of them for. Technically, you don't actually have to get 1,166 Kyber bricks because of these blue comets floating around in space. Shoot them and you'll get 5 Kyber bricks, although there's only a limited amount of them, so yeah, you'll still be getting over 1,000 collectibles. And in 30 hours of gameplay, I only collected like 400. Have fun, everyone. Speaking of space, there's actually a decent amount of things to do out there. The game gives you access to 69 ships in total to mess with, and it tries to make good use out of all of them. And it does a decent job at it, allowing you to fly around space outside of each planet, with random events occasionally appearing, like a bounty hunter stealing somebody's ship that you could stop.
Oh man, why you gotta be like this, huh? I stole this ship fair and square. No one needs that many gold ships. You wanna stop me? You'll have to catch me. I don't believe it. You got me.
Or a random ass space battle where you could take the side of the rebels or the Empire. You do have the occasional main story mission where you'll fly out there, and a lot of side missions where you'll just be fighting waves of enemies, but that's really all you can do in space. But you do have access to my worst nightmare: time trials. The time trials in this game are by far my least favorite part about it. I love this game, but these are just poorly programmed. You have some time trials on a planet that work fine, but as soon as you head up in space, it is fucking terrible. Wherever you spawn, it's up in the air. You have no idea. It could be ahead of the targets, to the left of the targets, or not even facing the fucking targets at all, forcing you to turn around, wasting valuable time. And once you do turn around, good fucking luck figuring out where any of the targets are. You know how every game with this kind of system has a little indicator off screen telling you where something is so you don't get lost? That's not here. So if you lose track of the targets, which is going to happen because it just feels like they threw these things anywhere, then you'll be circling around the endless void of space looking for anything that's green, and then you'll run out of time. And that's not even mentioning that once you run out of fucking time, there is no retry button. So you just have to fly away for like 20 seconds until you fail because of desertion. It's so weird that this is a problem. Time trials where you have to shoot targets have indicators everywhere from the very beginning. I have no idea why they're not here. In the grand scheme of things, this really isn't that big of an issue, and all the other goods surrounding the game makes this forgivable, but I spent 30 minutes of my life stuck on this one time trial, and I still haven't beaten it. I mean, I almost did at one point. I was doing amazing with plenty of time left, destroying all the targets, and then I lost track of them. And failed. To cheer up the mood, let's move on to something that's good. One of the best parts of every LEGO game. Free play in every LEGO game is fun as fuck, but here it is so much more. You've got over 300 characters in the Star Wars universe to mess with, like the obvious classic characters, to Ben Swolo, to fucking Yoda with hair, who's named Yaddle. I spent a lot of coins on this character. It's also so fun and goofy to play with these weird ass characters, especially in boss fights. Like here I am playing as C-3PO's fucking legs, kicking the crap out of Darth Maul. You can't get gameplay like this outside of a LEGO game. Obviously, the main thing you're supposed to use free play mode for is to get all the mini kits around the level that you couldn't get in the default missions because you didn't have access to the right characters. But fuck that, I'm in the mood for some weirdo shit. Fuck you, Vader. Slam into your ass with my bare chest. Do you really think you can face me, Maul? Look at me, I'm classically trained in the art of kickboxing. I'm playing as R2. About to put an end to this Sith Lord. LEGO Star Wars is amazing, if it wasn't clear enough from this video. And if you're a fan of LEGO games, then I definitely recommend this to you. It is by far their biggest and best one yet. Even Star Wars fans that might not necessarily be into LEGO games will enjoy this. It pays so much respect to the original trilogy, prequels, and sequels that any Star Wars fans will love the package. You've got so many iconic moments from every film, over 300 characters, nearly every ship with an insane amount of content. Probably too much. It does have its minor issues, and it could have been better in some places, but overall, it's a fantastic and worthy experience.